So on that west side, I only had 3 walls. I had the large wall, this wall going towards, this is called, this is the hatchway going into the basement from the outside. And then I just had this little 3-foot wall. This garage wall we're going to put over on the east side. So when I add up those 3 numbers for the linear footage on those, I get 68.53 linear feet. Now I want to multiply by the width, 2 feet, and then we can't see it on this elevation, but your footing, I should have had this up before, right? Your footing is this larger area. That's the foot of the foundation, right? So our width is 2 feet. Our depth right here is 1 foot. That's that 1 foot on our homework page, 2 feet by 1 foot. That's what we're talking about here, okay? The linear footage is all the way around. We're getting our linear footage. Okay, so anyways, I multiplied by the 2 foot depth and by the height, and I got 137.06 cubic yards, because now I've just calculated out the volume of the concrete that it's going to take for the east footings. Okay, now we're going to do the the west footings. Now we're going to do the east footings. So on my notebook, I have east. You can see we probably can do that same dimension of the 55. You just got to organize yourself, right? We know we have this wall back here, and that's going to become a through wall. Oh, we have this here, so we don't want to double up on those corners. So maybe we can't do that 55, right? So I'm just getting myself organized, bringing up all my footing lines so I understand what I'm doing. Okay, this is going to go straight through, and this guy's going to go straight through that way. So I do have to kind of break this out a little bit. And what I mean by that is I'm going to have to calculate out 1, 2, 3, 4 walls for the east elevation. So just hang tight with me, and then again, you'll be able to review my notes. So my exterior dimension is 11 feet. So I have 11 feet plus, I need to grab 8 inches right here, plus 8 inches, which is 0.67, plus I actually have to go through this wall here. And so that means that I have to actually add 8 inches for the wall and 8 inches for the footing, which is the, 1.34. Okay, so that equals 11 plus 0.67 plus 1.34 equals 13.01 linear feet. All right, so I just got that one. This next one, I have 34 feet 6 inches. I need to add 8 inches up here, and I need to add 8 inches down there. So again, just convert to decimal, 34.5 plus 0.67 plus 0.67. All right, and that is that 8-inch factor. 34.5 plus 0.67 equals, so I have 35.84 linear feet on that large wall. Next wall right here, 6 feet, I can see over here is my dimension, so I do have to add 8 inches down there, 6 feet plus 0.67. And then I also have to add, I have to add that 1.34. So that equals 8.01 linear feet. Done. The garage wall. So inside I have 21.2, right? From here to here. So easy enough. I take that 21.17 feet plus, let's see, down here I need to add that 1.34, 8 and 8, plus up here I also need to add that 1.34, right? 8 and 8. Instead of me saying these out loud, I'm just adding them up, equals 23.85 linear feet. 23.85 linear feet. All right, so I believe I got all the east walls. Now I need to add up those four numbers. So I have the 23.85 plus 8.01 plus 35.84 plus 13.01 equals. So for total, and students sometimes always catch me in an addition calculation error. Let me see, because this really should end up being just about the same as the other one. So let me just add those up again. So I added those up again. I have 80.71 linear feet. Now I multiply times the width times 2, and then times 1 for the depth, and times 1 equals 1. Let me put it down here so you understand what I'm doing. 161.42 cubic yards. I got my cubic yards on that one, right? 161.42. Okay, cubic yards. Now we need to do the north and then the south. So for my north walls, don't forget, these horizontal walls are going to be the butt walls. So you still want to keep that line up to understand that you have to chop off this corner of your footing so we don't get too high on the extra amount, right? So now we need to do some deduction of the dimensions that we have. Let's do this first wall at the 34 feet. That goes from the outside wall to the outside wall. So what are you going to do? You're going to deduct 8 inches for the wall thickness and 8 inches for the footing on either side, right? So you're going to take 34 feet minus the 1.34 minus 1.34 equals, right? So 34, just do this real quick. So I have 31.32 linear feet on that wall right there. This wall over here to the left, I have 8 foot 2 inches to the wall. So I'm going to deduct 8 inches on this side, and then I'm going to deduct that 1.34 on this side. Okay, so 8.17 minus 1.34 minus 0.67 for that 8 inches. Equals 6.16 linear feet. Third wall, I have 13 feet to the exterior walls there of the foundation walls. So I'm going to deduct 8 inches on this side, and I'm going to deduct that 1.34. So you have 13 feet minus 1.34 minus 0.67. There we go. So that last wall was 10.99 linear feet. I add those up and I get 48.47 linear feet times the 2 foot width of the footings times the 1 foot depth of the footings. And for the north footings, I get 96.94 cubic yards. All right, moving on to the south. Okay, oh shoot, I lost all my lines. Anyways, we're going to, there's a lot of choppy ones here, isn't there? So these, we just got to make sure we double up. These are going to be the same numbers here. Sorry, I'm going a little quickly and not keeping these very straight. All right, so let's start with this garage wall because that's kind of the easiest. And then we got to make sure we get this wall as well too. I can't remember, excuse me, footing, if we got this footing as well. So we got to double up from what the north one was, which, you know what, let's do that right now. That north wall was, looking back at my notes, I have 6.16. So right away, write down 6.16 linear feet. And that's, I'm going to put a little note here for our hatchway wall, because I know we didn't get that one. The garage wall down here, this one's, to me, is one of the more easier ones. we take the 20 feet because that's the exterior dimension, right? And we don't have to worry about the 8 inches over here, but we do have to worry about the 8-inch wall and the footing. So right away, we're going to take that 20 foot minus 1.34 minus 1.34 on each side. And we'll grab these two little walls right now. So I have 10, 10. I got a minus 8 on that side. And then I have a 7, 10 over here. I got a minus 8. And then I need to minus a whole lot, right? 2 feet. No. Excuse me. The 8 and the 8 right there. So I'm going to write them out. 10.84 minus 8 inches on this side. So that's 0.67 minus the 1.34 on that side. And we'll do that calculation. And then this guy right here, the 710, you're going to do 7.84 minus 8 inches on that side, 0.67 minus the 1.34 on the other side. So let's do those calculations. So for this one, I got 8.83 linear feet. And for this smaller one, I got 5.83 linear feet. All right, let's do the last couple ones right here. So I have 12 foot 6. So I'm going to deduct 8 inches on that side, and I'm going to deduct the 1.34 on that side. So I take 12.5 minus 0.67 minus 1.34 equals, and then don't forget, we have the same exact wall as we do on the front in the back. So let's just double that, okay? So you're taking that 12.5 times 0.67 times 1.34, and then you're multiplying that times 2, okay? So you're getting 22.45 linear feet. That's 2 walls. Okay, 2 walls. And then the last wall right here is the 14.6. So 14.5 minus 1.34 for the right side minus 8 inches for the left side of that wall. All right, so and then let's add these all up together. So once you've completed that and added them up, you get 133.84 cubic yards. Now, we just did all 4 of the cubic yards for our foundation. So how many linear feet of this size? So this first number right here, you pretty much have this on all 4 of our sides. And this is the linear footage before we calculate the 2 foot by 1 foot to get our cubic yards. Because guess what? That's your next question answer. Volume calculated for your cubic yards. And that's when I like the last one for the south elevation, I got 133.84 cubic yards. Well, in the north elevation, I also got 96.94 cubic yards, right? Look at your notes, look at my notes. I want you to figure out what your linear footage is, and then I want you to tell me what your cubic yards is. The number of columns is all of these square items in the foundation. These are all footings, and they're under a column, specifically right here, this circle. So count up the columns and then add that to your homework assignment. Our footing sizes are going to be 2 feet by 2 feet by 1 foot, okay? And then, get the number of columns, 14, 16, 18, whatever it is. Figure out your volume, and then give me the cubic yards for, this is for the columns footings. Okay, so you're going to do 2 cubic yard amounts here. 1 for the foundation wall footings and 1 for the columns. All right, maybe I should separate these a little bit so you don't get confused. Volume of columns. Deck footing, there are a few footings underneath the deck. How many? PSIs, we're going to use 3,500 PSIs, that's pounds per square inch. And then we're going to use a $300 cubic yard calculation to get our overall total cost for the footing. Steel rebar, none. All right. And that's about it. If you have any questions, send me an email, but I will upload my written notes as well for you. Thanks.